Gemini, third house placements, Mercury rule descendant, Mercury close to your ascendant. And if this just resonates, or if you're cross watching, because who doesn't? I'm Susie. This reading it's good for when you find it, but it's meant for the energy of what's left of December, but it's December, January, and then January's reading will be January, February. Because I think it's hard with energy to just say like, this is for this specific, and it ends. So it's for December, January, and I like to focus. I'm a trauma-informed astrologer and metaphysical practitioner, by the way, in case you don't know who I am. In case this is your first time here, and if it is, welcome. But okay, don't mind that one in reverse. I like to focus on empowerment and things that I can help you with. We will look into the energies of other people, and love does come up, but a lot of times I like to focus on how we're kind of in our own way, or what's the thing we don't know that's keeping a connection from happening. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, one more. Starting out with the Five of Swords in reverse. So the Five of Swords is an interesting card, right? Because when we see the traditional, like the Rider-Waite, the swords have been put down, but the one person I always say, it's like, go ahead. I wish a MFer would. It's that kind of energy where you've won the battle, but your sword isn't down. You don't feel comfortable. And this always has that, whatever that movie is with, like, it's Brad Pitt and Tom Skerritt and some other guy that I can't remember his name. I don't know. It's a father-son movie, but they're fishing. And that's what this always reminds me of. It's this very life lesson kind of movie. And I always wonder if this is supposed to be. If you know it in the comment, please put it by all means. When we have this Five of Swords in reverse, we're in a retrograde. All your cards came out in reverse. Retrogrades aren't scary. This one's in Capricorn. So like, just rethinking the way that you would have just done things, the way in your head, this A leads to B and that leads to success, right? This is the way I've always done things. This is the way I've always thought about this. So there's a lot of, obviously, Gemini ruled by Mercury. There's all this reverse energy is about restructuring and rethinking. While Gemini is far less sometimes traditional than Capricorn will tend to be. Depends on the other placements. Capricorn with a ton of Sag, just not so traditional. But we have the Four of Cups in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse, which I really like. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And the Seven of Pentacles for me is that the Seven of Pentacles when it's like this, and I want to say that was in Casey's reading the other day, but the Seven of Pentacles is, I ate my Cracker Jacks, where's my tattoo? It's, I put the work in and I'm feeling impatient about the way, you told me to do my manifestations. You told me to work on this, 6 gurus, 3 tarot reads, an astrology reading, and something I watched on TikTok all told me I need to work on that. And I did work on that. Guess what? Nothing happened. It's kind of impatience, but it's also something that you put work into and that you maybe waited for a while. When I have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, it can be getting more patience on something, or coming to a place within yourself where you've kind of made peace with, I'm not going to watch the paint dry on the wall. I'm not going to sit here and put my life on hold. I always say you can hold space for somebody, but waiting energy never helped anybody. Seven of Pentacles for me often, though, is like, it's time. That with the Four of Swords in reverse, and the Hangman in reverse. Those are all my 3 indicators of something you've been waiting for. There's a shift. It's time. And we will often hear from people, right? I always say like Mercury in retrograde is like when the exes slide into the DMs. The 3 of Swords is that heartbreak card. So having it in reverse, for me, it doesn't mean that you're completely over the thing, but you're over the hard part. You're over the hump. Gemini is very, very strong in my chart. It's not part of my big 3, but it's very, very strong. It's my Gemini Mercury is one of my final expositors. One of 2 in my chart. Everything just kind of leads back to it. So the Gemini energy and I are one with each other. And I was just saying, like, today, like, it's amazing when you look back at those people you thought, I will never get over them. I can't imagine not being like, if you're more of a jealous person, if you have those, you know, I'm a Cancer. I don't really share my food or my men. I'm fine with sharing friends and family, but you know, and you just think I will, you know, it'll always sting a little bit. That was the love of, and then you think like, oh no, I'm fine. Vaya con Dios. You know, you're good. You go be happy. That was not meant to be. And you think like, if I can get over that person, I can get over anything. And that's kind of like the hump of this. The 4 of Cups, this was something that you thought you wanted. You may not have wanted it. These 2 together give me that vibe of, I never thought I could get over them. I never thought I'd be at a place. And I think that may have been the thing that you were waiting for, is healing. Bracing yourself, Gemini, for every time you were going to have to see them in a public place or with their partner, or even like, you may not be friends with them on social media, but you have other friends connecting and they get tagged in a picture and everybody's out and they look great. And that used to like bring this like pang. And you could like logically know that you should congratulate yourself on your escape, or just that this wasn't the right one. But something about that, like that person or that connection. And let me say this, often we have a hard time letting go of connections that speak to a part of us. You know, sometimes we can find people that allow a part of us that we were either ashamed or afraid to let out, and that person made it comfortable. And so what we're attached to is that part of us that we let out, that we healed a little bit, that we gave way to. And the attachment is to that freedom, that liberation, to feel safe, and you know, let that wounded part of us kind of come out. So sometimes it's less about the person, it was the vehicle just showing you that you could be comfortable with that part of you again. I feel like you're over a hump here. I feel like and if, gosh, if you're not, you're gonna be. You know, I started out with this whole big speech about how, like, I really want to do readings that are about empowerment, not really focus too much on other people. We'll talk about it. Whatever comes up, comes up. I don't really choose what the reading's going to be about. With the 4 Cups, the 3 of Swords in reverse, the 7 of Pentacles. Let me put my computer on silent. Not one thing, it's another. I really feel, Gemini, like you, it's almost like a trigger or anxiety, like you are on your way to having less anxiety or anticipation about talking to this person, seeing this person. If their face comes up on some kind of social media, if their name comes up in a conversation, I feel like you share outside of the relationship, you share like work or friends or history. Let's take some clarifications. I want, what is it that you've been waiting for? That you either made peace with, it's going to come on its own time when it's supposed to, or it's coming now. The wait is over. because Seven of Pentacles is like a waiting card. So, right. So that song, the wait is over. You were with me all the while. That's like an 80s song. So if you don't know it, it wasn't like one of the big 80s songs. I want to say was it Asia? Okay. Finally, we got a, okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. Part of what you've been waiting for. So it's not just love. You have not just been battling love. This broken heart might have had you like all the way. It feels like everything at once came at you. Oof. So we're gonna talk about Venus for a second. When somebody takes a stab at our self-worth, this feels emotional, Gemini. This is just how all of it works. Astrology, metaphysical practice, neuroscience, law of attraction, even by as taught by NASA physicists. Our thoughts about ourselves, that's the tuning knob for what comes in, what we think we deserve. When somebody comes along and takes the wind out of our sails and hurts us and makes us think like, you know, how could I have done better? And there's this saying in about trauma that one of the best ways to know if you're sitting there wondering like, but did I just have like I didn't have a perfect childhood, but is that really trauma? If you have spent any amount of time ever in your life, in any relationship, trying to convince somebody that was treating you terribly to stay and treat you better, and you kept changing your behavior and you kept tuning yourself into what they needed so that they wouldn't leave or so that they would treat you better so that you could stay. That is all you need to know. That is the test. That is the positive results. When we have stuff like that and somebody comes along and we spent time, we eroded away, we were co-conspirators in the degradation, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, of our own sense of self-worth. Because yeah, people do that to us, but at some point we sign on. We're co-conspirators to our own. And it's because of trauma. It's because of trauma manifested behaviors. It's because that's what our brain says. Of course, it's going to happen. That's what I feel like, Gemini. And again, this is good for third house placements, Gemini placements, Mercury near the ascendant or Mercury ruled ascendant. So also Virgo risings. Oof. Whatever this was, it doesn't necessarily have to be love. You have not felt like you could relax and put your sword down for a while. I don't know that you still feel that way, just a little bit. Like I'm gonna try to relax and be in that flow, right? Let everything come to me. I know you've been working on all that. There's no way I'm not talking to people who've been working on all that. But wand at the ready, sword at the ready. I think that you don't know whether you can relax with that or not. What I love is what I asked what it was time for. And there's that Queen of Pentacles. There is that she knows she is the abundance, the Queen of Pentacles. She knows that it doesn't matter. Everything can go away, and she's, you know, she's going to rebuild it. I always say the Queen of Pentacles is one of the best partner cards to get, but I don't think that this is about partner. I think this is about you. I think that you accepted crumbs and starts and felt like everything constantly, you were in a place of starting over and starting over and starting over. Not because you wanted to be, to the point where it trained your brain to think that you don't get to have anything. People don't stay. Abundance doesn't come. And I think that we are no longer, we've traded this in for this. And it's crazy because I feel like you did try things, and I feel like you were listening, and you were like, I will take help anywhere I can get it. But it was just like a rubber band snapping. You know, in this Three of Swords, we have these chains, and they're finally breaking. And we have the light over the head and the flower starting to grow. The Four of Cups, which we haven't talked about. Let's clarify that. Four of Cups in reverse is universe trying to give you something that you did not want to be bothered with at all, because you were stuck on the thing that had hurt you. That's why you were at the sword ready. It's so important to know that Venus is not just love and money. It attracts the love, and it attracts the money that we feel that we deserve based on our own sense of value and value in our sense in ourselves. Venus is V is for value. You know, I always make the joke, people sometimes conflate Venus with like sexiness or the that physical act. And I always say that, you know, Mars might be how you take the bases and slide into home, but Venus is how you got them to the arena to begin with. Venus is how we attract. You feel like you can only get 3 people to your arena because there's something defunct with you, you know, that's something that you should be working on. And I know that you are, but it just feels like something just snapped and you understood. More Five of Swords for this Four of Cups. Gemini, why do you feel like you have to fight to keep people? You have to fight to convince them to stay. You have to fight for them. And for some of you, I feel like you may be that person that feels like somebody worth fighting for. Like you're so used to the having to fight for everything that it's also possibly influenced or flavored how you seek or accept love. Let's just get like a nice little oracle card on this. Going forward. I mean, it's time. That Queen of Pentacles, this is like, again, that tuning knob, that sense of value now that you're healing and you're more ready to put the sword down. And you're willing to look at all the options, not just focused on the one that you feel like isn't available to you. Let's just see what we get. And then if you're part of membership, the extended, I want to look more at that Queen of Pentacles. What kind of abundance coming in? Could just be straight up money. And I want to look at that Three of Swords in reverse as well, probably. Yeah, but the extended is on the members page. I'll have a poll up so you guys decide what you want to see more about in this reading. And then we have get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. I always say this: if you live in a high rise and you don't have a balcony, you can't get out, put your feet in dirt if it's inclement weather. Um, you know, have a bucket, um, something big enough to get your feet in. Cheap planters work great. Um, I used to actually make myself a little pedicure station, and all I did was get like rocks from the dollar store, put them at the bottom, but you can just get rocks and water and put your feet in there. But there's also a grounding exercise. It's in one of my videos. I should cut it out and put it separate on the page. Getting grounded when you have a lot of mercurial energy. They always talk about like Neptune needs grounding, or Uranus can sometimes need grounding. Mercury needs grounding too. Mercury is your, your hamster on the wheel. And if you're an overthinker, I think I just put that on Instagram, like accepting the award for the best overthinker. Uh, um, it's hard to find Geminis that aren't overthinkers. And so grounding is really, really important. The time is here. The wait is over, and you get to move into a more prosperous in every way. Maybe I should do a little looking into what might be coming in love. As this clears out for Gemini. But I love this reading for you because it's not about a promise of what's coming as much as it's really, you should be proud of yourself for what you've already done, for sure. Okay. I think that's it. Look on the page, there's Christmas holiday party coming up, not till January. Blah blah blah, stuff. It's all on my page. There's links in the description and whatever if you're interested in membership to see the extendeds. All right, bye.